We are working out for the next 365 days in a row. So many of us struggle to make positive changes in our lives, and I tend to give up too. We can't stick to our goals. You see, we've done this challenge at least 10 times, reaching 200 plus days at least twice. I was hoping to get myself into breakdancing shape because I always wanted to breakdance. And failure was crushing. And sometimes when you fail a lot, you give up. And in my case, you give up on your dreams for good. I made excuses instead. But now, even if I give up, or I sleep in, or I stop, we're just going to start over again. We will become stronger. So what follows are my workouts and thoughts each day. Every day, we can decide to make good choices. So don't give up on yourself.
Hello, welcome to Work Out Every Day, day number 18, weighing at 196.8 pounds. It is a brand new day to get even stronger. Today's focus is isometric. So I try and have at least one day a week or one day every 2 weeks, which is just isometric work. What's an isometric, Jaden? Well, essentially, isometric exercises are exercises where you're holding in a position where the muscle is still kept under tension, okay? So I did every single movement in this fashion and ended that with core work. And why would you want to train like this? Why would you want to do different holds? Well, helps you build some muscular endurance and stability in areas where you want to focus on it. So, for example, handstand holds are a good example. Okay, you're holding that position, your shoulders are being taxed in that isometric position where you just have your hands pressed into the floor. Okay, it's very, very taxing. And there's a lot of other movements that we're going to cover. But first, I wanted to talk a bit about the handstand. Now, the handstand is a movement that I should really be doing a lot more in my routine, but due to just organization and just plain old ignoring it because I just don't like the feeling of being upside down, I kind of haven't really been doing it. Now, you'll notice as I'm doing my handstand that I'm not crawled all the way closer to the wall. I saved that for some of my further and further sets just because I needed some time to get more comfortable with it. And if you guys remember way, way, way back when, one thing I wanted to practice is getting off the wall a lot easier. And one thing I noticed today is I still have the muscle memory, so I don't have that fear of falling and essentially getting hurt if I fall to the left or right. And I opted to do outside. And as you can also see, I do a little bit of foot off wall every once in a while. And I'm just really, really focused on pressing my hands into the ground as much as possible. That is my main focus, guys. I want to just briefly talk about my current weight before I get into this next exercise. But yeah, 196.8 with the goal of reaching 175 pounds. We got like 20 pounds to go, guys, and we are a bit behind schedule. I think it's a mixture of not eating the best I could eat and also not training as hard as I could. So, yeah. Now that I found the scale because we lost it, I'm gonna make sure I do this every day so I can keep track and know where I'm going. I find that oftentimes when we kind of just take our scale and just go, oh, I'll wait every once in a while, once a week, once a month. It kind of sets up unrealistic expectations because, like, now I'm bummed out because I thought I weighed a lot less, right? So, for me personally, I think tracking it daily is the easiest way to see my averages and see where I actually am in terms of my weight. Now, the next movement here is wall sit, and this first attempt I really did not like, guys. As you can see, I slid down the wall, get to about 90 degrees. I think I could slide down just a little bit more, and essentially I feel that burning in the quads, and I'm really working the tension there. You get a lot of quad work here, guys. If you've never done this before, find a space. That's not slippery, by the way. Doing this on slidey floor sucks. Slucks. It's funny. But yeah, you see me here holding this. One thing that you can tell the further you get into this movement is your muscles will start to feel a little bit weird. You might get a little bit of a shake or burning sensation. You don't want to stop there. Actually, you want to try and hold for as long as you can in that burn. Now, my big mistake today was as soon as I began to feel the burn a little bit, at least for the first 2 to 3 sets, I would just automatically slide myself down because it was really painful. But then I started saying, okay, let me just try and do one more set, except go as hard as I can. And what I noticed is I got to a point where my legs were shaking, and then I forcefully slid. Like mentally, I said, okay, I'm going to slide down. And then on my very, very last set, I said, you know what? Let me just go until my legs make me slide down. And then that's what I did on my very last set. And then I said, and you know what? I think I still could have pushed more into the ground to stop that from happening. So, what is the point of me mentioning this? Well, putting in a maximal amount of effort or a good amount of effort to get the result you want is probably harder than you think it is, especially with movements like these, right? So, I really needed to push myself and kind of be real with myself and go, okay, am I actually pushing as hard as I'm able to for this movement? And this one, more than any of the other ones I did on this day, really made me have to think about that. To build my chest and tricep strength and my shoulders in a low position, I've opted for this movement that I've known as chaturanga. You could think of it as a low plank, whatever. Basically, I'm hovering right above the ground and I'm pressing my hands into the floor and I'm just holding this position for as long as possible. Keep my back engaged. I try and engage my chest a bit and I try and just hold that. Okay, now I've been doing this pretty much, I want to say, once every few weeks around 2026. Yeah, so like start of the year, I've been doing these, and I have noticed some carryover in how stable and how balanced I am in the push-up position. Have I noticed a remarkable surge of push-ups? No, and that could just be because I'm not doing these consistently enough. So I'm trying to keep these in every single week. I also wanted to add that I think that these are great. You get like a crazy burn on these. You can actually feel your chest a bit and your shoulders will get very tired holding this, guys. And I think that this is just a great finisher. Say you're doing some kind of, and I don't even do bodybuilding splits, by the way, chest, tricep, stuff like that. I think this is a great finisher. Just get in that push up position to hold for as long as you can. Keep your core tight. I know my hair is blocking, but I didn't fall to the ground, okay? But I'm out there and I'm holding and I'm trying to keep myself up, and it's difficult, right? If you can see from a side angle, which you can't, you can see that I'm still making sure that I still have those plank fundamentals, right? So the hips aren't sagging, all that good stuff to make sure that my form is good. The last movement before I hit my abs was the back extension. So with these, I squeeze my glutes, I try and raise my chest up, and then I raise my hands up and out. So there's a few variations. You can have your hands out just like this. You can bring them to your sides, you can bring them behind you, all sorts of good stuff. But it's been so long since I have done this particular movement, and I've noticed that I feel pretty darn stable with them. And every time I do them, I always have the same reaction. I'm like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then a few seconds passes, and then a little bit more passes, and then all of a sudden I'm dropping and I can't control my body anymore. So yeah, these are underrated in my opinion. Good way to work your back isometrically. Is it the best way that you could do from home? I don't know about that. I mean, you guys have seen me do towel rows before if you've been watching for this long, and I think that those are just absolutely crazy if you can get them set up somewhere. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be kind of like a breakdancing focus resistance day, and then the day after is going to be regular resistance. I'm going to be at the gym with the girlfriend. So take care. Hopefully, you guys are still training. I'll see you soon. Peace.